releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Amounted to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense. The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu.
You're welcome to the news desk of Celebration TV. I am Sherry Quinsley Bima. Here are the news making the headlines for today. Federal government has reached agreement with ASU under duress. President AKUFO-ADDO determined to protect Ghana's democracy. The United States Appeal Court rejects Trump's request to block files. The CBN to give 10,000 Bauchi farmers 5.7 billion naira for dry season farming. On sports, Villarreal survive Atalanta fight back to claim final last 16th spot. Do stay with us after this very short timeout. I'll be back with the news in full. Do not go nowhere. You're welcome back now to news in detail. The Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Education, Soni Echono, says most of the agreements reached with the Academic Staff Union of Universities were under duress. Echono stated this during a retreat organized by the Governing Council of the University of Abuja. ASU and the federal government have constantly been engaged in tussles over the latter's failure to meet some of the demands put forward by the union. Echono says he has heard so much about the fact that the government has failed to honor the agreements with ASU. He has a different view about that because most of the agreements are imperfect. And meanwhile, sources say that the ASU would decide whether to go on strike or not following the end of its scheduled zonal conferences on December 15, 2021. Also, the meetings will take place between December 9th and December 15th in Abuja, and also in Nsukka, Ibadan, Yola, Benin, Akure, Lagos, Bauchi, Owerri, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Sokoto, and Kano State, respectively. And added that the decision to go on strike will depend on the outcome of the zonal press briefings. And I'm moving forward from that news story. The federal government begins giving booster shots. The United States donates 2.5 million doses. The federal government will begin to administer booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines today. The Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shuaib, states this in Abuja as the Africa Center for Disease Control, an agency of the African Union, kicked against the introduction of booster doses in African countries. Nigeria had on March 5th, 2021, this year, of course, commenced COVID-19 vaccination with a total of 3.94 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine from the COVAX Institute of India. This was followed by a vaccination break due to the ban of vaccine transportation by the Serum Institute of India, the main supplier of the COVAX facility. In August, Nigeria resumed her second phase of vaccine with donations of Moderna and AstraZeneca vaccines, which were received through donations from foreign countries. The country also received several doses of the J&J vaccine, which it procured through a joint partnership with other African Union countries through the AVATT facility. So far in Nigeria, only a total of 3,867,815 people have been fully vaccinated, with a total of 7,449,989 people taking the first dose. The Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 a few days ago directed vaccinated Nigerians to go for booster doses following detection of 3 cases of Omicron variant of the virus in the country. And before Nigeria's Center for Disease Control announced the cases, Canada has said it detected the variant in 3 persons with travel history to Nigeria. The North American country subsequently placed a travel ban on Nigeria. Other countries that have placed travel ban on Nigeria include the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia. And now in another development, CHANAEZE plans lobby team for Southeast 2023 presidency bid. The Pan-Igbo Social-Cultural Group CHANAEZE in Igbo says it would soon set up 2023 presidency lobby team that would reach out to other zones in the country. The spokesman for the CHANAEZE, Chief Alex Ogbonna, says this while receiving advice to the Southeast by the Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization, that is the Arewa Consultative Forum. He says the Southeast will soon start the process of reaching out to other parts of the country on the need to support the Igbo for the 2023 presidency. Asked whether the ACF would support the Southeast to produce the next president, he says the group was not a political party. He, however, advised the Igbo to reach out to the North if it was desirous of producing the next president. Ogbe states that everybody has a genuine quest for the 2023 presidency. Nobody is telling any part not to participate, but to lobby. That's the only way to go in democracy. And now news coming from around Africa. President AKUFO-ADDO is determined to protect Ghana's democracy. Ghana's President Nana Addo Dankwa AKUFO-ADDO has expressed his determination to protect the country's democracy amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The president says this during a virtual summit on democracy where he recounted some challenge the country has faced during the pandemic. It is the attachment to democratic values and institutions that they are determined to protect, even during the crises that have been going through and also the pandemic. And fortunately, and by the grace of God, it has been more or less under control. The summit hosted leaders from government, civil society, and also the private sector. The summit focused on challenges and opportunities facing democracies and provided a platform for leaders to make both individual and collective communities commitments to defend democracy and human rights around the world. Invited governments were tasked to develop communities focused on strengthening their own democracies in 3 areas. The areas are fighting corruption, countering authoritarianism, and promoting human rights. A second summit is expected to hold in 2022 to take stock of the progress made and forge a common path ahead. And now news still coming from around Africa. Ugandan Congolese forces continue offensive operations in eastern DRC. The UN peacekeepers in DR Congo have signed an agreement with the country's armed forces to facilitate joint operations against armed groups troubling the east of the vast nation. The guidelines for joint operations set down procedures for enabling operations by the UN mission, MONUSCO, and the FARDC as the Congolese army is known, they said. The accord was signed at Congolese Army headquarters on Tuesday by the country's Armed Forces Chief of Staff, who is General Celestine Mbala, and the commander of the UN forces in DR Congo, Afonso da Costa. This is according to an AFP reporter. It feels a long-standing void for a coordination mechanism from the operation level, da Costa says. The agreement coincides with a crackdown by the Congolese and Ugandan troops on the bloodiest of the estimated 122 armed groups in the region. MONUSCO is one of the biggest and costliest UN peacekeeping operations, with around 16,000 military and police and an annual budget for more than $1 billion. But it has drawn criticism over its effectiveness in the fight against armed groups that plagued the country's east, especially the Allied Democratic Forces, that is the ADF. And linked by the United States to the Islamic State, the ADF has been blamed for thousands of deaths in the Beni area and also for recent blasts in the Ugandan capital, Kampala. Mbala says the new guidelines should enable more of MONUSCO forces to take on combat role rather than be restricted to an observer role under the UN's rule of engagement. Right now, we'll take a very short break. When we get back from that break, I'll come with updates coming from the United States as the U.S. Appeal Court rejects Donald Trump's request to block files. I will be right back with more details of that story shortly. Just
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet. What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
welcome back now. News update coming from the United States of America. A U.S. appeal court has rejected a bid by former President Donald Trump to block Capitol riot investigators from accessing his White House records. Mr. Trump, a Republican, has argued that his past communications are protected by executive privilege, under which presidential files can be kept secret. But President Joe Biden has waived executive privilege on the documents. Lawmakers are trying to find out if Mr. Trump had foreknowledge of the riot, which took place on the 6th of January. Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building as Congress was meeting to certify Joe Biden's presidential election result. Mr. Trump has refused to acknowledge losing the election to Mr. Biden last year, making claims without evidence of mass voter fraud. He is expected to appeal against Thursday's decision, which will then be passed to the Supreme Court. Now more updates coming from India. At least 53 people killed, Australia overturns. At least 53 people have been killed and dozens more injured after the truck they were being transported in crashed in southern Mexico, authorities have said. More than 100 people says to be migrants from Central America were crammed into the truck's trailer when it rolled in the state of Chiapas. Pictures from the crash scene shows victims strewn across the road next to the overturned truck. There were also rolls of water paired to be bodies covered in white sheets. It is one of the worst accidents of its kind in Mexico, with at least 58 people injured, some injured seriously. This report was said by Luis Manuel Garcia, who is the head of the Chiapas Civil Protection Agency. He says the victims included men, women, and children. The nationalities have not been confirmed yet, but local officials say most of the people on board were Honduras and Guatemalans. The truck was reportedly speeding when it flipped on a sharp bend and hit a pedestrian bridge on the main road leading to the Chiapas state capital, Tuxtla Gutiérrez. Chiapas, which neighbors Guatemala, is a major transit point for undocumented migrants. Hundreds of thousands of migrants fleeing poverty and violence in Central America try to cross through Mexico each year in a bid to reach the United States. More than in any year since the IOM's record, this has been the worst incident ever. And now news coming from the business world. The CBN is set to give 10,000 Bauchi farmers 5.7 billion naira for dry season farming. The Central Bank of Nigeria has set aside over 5.7 billion naira to give as loan to 10,000 farmers to encourage dry season wheat farming in Bauchi State. The CBN Comptroller Bauchi branch Salatu Idris, who disclosed this at the flag off of the program at the NUJ Secretariat in Bauchi, says that 4,500 farmers had so far benefited in the state. He says each farmer would be given 370,000 naira in cash, 6 bags of urea, 4 bags of NPK fertilizer, pumping and spraying machines, respectively. He says the CBN had taken proactive steps by reaching out to the farmers through associations so that only those targeted would benefit from it. Idris says this dry season farming is a very easy thing that a lot of people can do. And now still on business news. Crypto assets may displace local currencies in developing countries. The IMF has said this. The International Monetary Fund says some emerging markets and developing economies face immediate and serious risk of currency substitution by crypto assets. The IMF disclosed this in a report titled Global Crypto Regulation Should Be Comprehensive, Consistent and Coordinated. In the report, the IMF says its mandate is to safeguard the stability of the international monetary and financial system. The Washington, D.C.-based fund says some emerging markets and developing economies face more immediate and acute risk of currency substitution through crypto assets, the so-called cryptalization. And according to the IMF, crypto assets will soon pose systematic financial stability in some countries as policymakers struggle to monitor the risks. It added that crypto assets were drastically changing the financial system it was trying to protect. Right now, we'll take a short break. When we get back from that break, it'll be news coming from the world of sports. I will be right back. Don't go nowhere.
What business are you planning to showcase to the world? That which will satisfy the need of humanity? Of course, with Celebration TV, it will get the desired reciprocation you long for. We are committed to giving your business and services that quality touch of class, and you will be happy you made the right choice by placing that investment of yours on the right platform. Without delay, you can call on this number for your advert placement, partnership, or sponsorship of our programs. Celebration Television, your best bet.
You're welcome back now. It's news update coming from the world of sports. Villarreal survived Atlanta's fight back to claim final last 16 spot. Arnold Danjuma struck twice as Villarreal won at 3-2 away at Atlanta in a match rearranged after heavy snowfall to clinch the final spot to the Champions League last 16th. The Dutch international put Atlanta ahead inside 3 minutes, and Kapoor doubled the lead shortly before halftime on another chilly evening in Bergamo. Danjuma scored again early in the second half, but Villarreal was forced to hold on as Atlanta responded with goals from Rosalind and Duvan Zapata, while also hitting the woodwork 3 times. Quarterfinalists 2 seasons ago, Atlanta needed a win to climb above Villarreal into second place in the group, but made a disastrous start to a game pushback after a cold snap swept across northern Italy. And now in another sports story, Barcelona crushed Arsenal 5-0 in Women's Championship League. 7-time European Women's Champions Lyon trashed Benfica 5-0 in Lisbon, as Barcelona, who took the crown last season, also scored an impressive away victory 4-0 at Arsenal. Lyon locked up their place in the knockout stages with 1 round of group games to play, while Barca ensured they will progress as group winners. Bayern Munich locked up second place in Group D with a 5-1 victory over Häcken in Gothenburg. Swedish striker Stina Blackstenius gave the home team a 36th-minute lead and hope of the victory that would keep their chances alive, but Bayern responded with 2 goals before halftime. French midfielder Viviane leveled after 39 minutes. Giovanna gave the visitors the lead in the 45th minute. The Serbian striker struck again after 55 minutes, and Linda Dahlman and Lineth completed the scoring. Right now, we've come to the end of the news desk on Celebration TV. In case you missed out on the top stories, here is a quick rerun of the headlines. Federal government reached agreement with ASU under duress. President AKUFO-ADDO is determined to protect Ghana's democracy. United States Appeal Court rejects Trump's request to block files. The CBN to give 10,000 Bauchi farmers 5.7 billion naira for dry season farming. And on sports news, Villarreal survived Atlanta fight back to claim final list on the 16th spot. And now it's time for the photo of the day. That photo is clearly colorful, which depicts that creativity is a phenomenon whereby something new and valuable is formed. Creativity is a keynote to an outstanding work of art, putting things together to give it a lively meaning. Of course, we know color is life. You can share your thoughts about that photo of the day via our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, we are at My Celebration TV. On YouTube, we are Celebration TV. You should bear in mind that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do so without expecting to be pushed has backed his way to success, let it be known today that everything we do, think, feel and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Make sure you are a part of nation building today. I am Sherry Quince Debrima. Thank you for staying tuned and do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Goodbye.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.